Okay, it looks like we are basically coming in live. I'm going to start the recording. I've got straight up 2 hours before the market closes. Okay, it looks like we are basically coming in live. I'm going to start the. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn. I want to welcome you to the How to Make Money Trading Stocks weekly live stream. We'll be sitting there waiting for some folks to be checking on. I don't know if Steve's going to be joining us today. That's Steve Farrar from Honolulu. But we are here ready to go. So let's go ahead and rock into today's session. And as you're aware, folks, this is intended to be a session for anybody who wants to join. It's a free session where I just do a real quick market overview. It's intended to last about 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it goes for 20 minutes. And there's Steve. I'm going to give him. There you go, Steve. All you got to do is unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
And so I'll just get a real quick radio check. Steve, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, hold on a second. Switch apparatus here.
Oh, testing.
Okay, great. So Steve, just real quick, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Yeah, you just unmute yourself.
I'm too soft. Is this better? I increased my volume.
There we go.
Hello.
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, I've got you. My volume was down a little bit also. So, okay, hey, let's get going into today's session. Yeah, Steve, we can hear you fine.
Okay, good.
Hence the little lag. And so here we go. Basically, we're here today. You want to remember that, learn to focus on the process. The profits will follow. Okay. I'm working off of 2 screens today. So all materials we do present are for training purposes only. Traders should always favor trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication of future performance. One of the things I want to highlight going into this weekend basically is, yes, the market has a bit of an upward bias, but at the same time, it's rapidly approaching resistance. Is the next Fed decision, which happens at the end of next week, or on Wednesday of next week, is that already priced in? And so, as usual, continue to hold your convictions loosely and your stops tightly is the way to approach the market right now. The market basically has done a really nice little rally. All the indexes, with the exception of the Russell, is back above the highs from last year. The Russell's still lagging a little bit, but we'll take a look at the individual stocks for entities, the individual indexes for that. And then hopefully Steve's got a stock that he can take a look at and share with us. And so let's go on over and take a look at the individual. Let's go to the charts. If you are not an active trend trading member, even the free members, you're not getting a hold of this list. Every week I go through in excess of 500 individual stocks on the IBD premium list. I basically hone those down to the best 10 to 15 stocks that are available out there, and provide 2 new watch list that I provide on a weekly basis to members, and all you do is go in and download those lists from the website. So let's take a look at the individual entities. And hold on. So yeah, Mark, that's a great question, Mark. Why don't I show you that? I'll go ahead and over and show that to you right this moment in time. Mark asked, where is the power ranking stocks? Where is that power rank list located? It's located in a couple of places. As a premium member, you of course have access to it. You can find it in one of two places. One, go to free videos and articles. Click on that. And it takes you away to basically the blog page. Here's the blog last week, How to Make Money Trading Stocks, ETFs, September 6th. Click there to continue to read. Go down, go here, Power Rank Elite List. Click there, and that'll basically take you to a Dropbox. Then from the Dropbox, you can download I'll just show you exactly what that looks like. Takes you right away to the Dropbox. And here are the composite list from last week, Lulu. And that's the list, I think it's list 1 through 5. So that's where that lives. And along with that, you get along with that, you also get a go back to read it again. You also, Mark, you can pick up the year-to-date Elite 50. That is all of the IBD 50 stocks that have been on the list on the IBD 50 since the beginning of the year. So there's about 175 stocks on there at this particular point. You can also then go to, if you are a premium member, go over here to the members dashboard, click on that. Go to Premium Active Trend Trading Member. And I believe I put that on the radar. And it is. It's right there. You can pick up those. And the other thing, as a premium member, you also get access to the Active Trend Trading watch list. That's the latest. That's the one that I specifically trade, and I make my trades off of. So you get all 3 of those as a premium member. So, okay, let's go ahead and look at some. I'll look at the indexes, and then we'll turn it over to Steve to take a look at the individual stock. Hey, Steve, if you could please type in the chat what stock you're going to be looking at. There's a little bit of a lag in the presentation time frame with YouTube. And so I just don't want to I'll get that up as soon as I possibly can. There we go. So let's look at a daily and the weekly. We had a strong move almost on every entity this past week. SPY, daily, weekly here. And as you can see, what has happened, we're still working within the confounds of this expanded top. And as we talked about last week, is that while momentum is continuing to lag, as you can see, we are still underneath this trend line momentum-wise on a weekly chart. However, price action is starting to push up to potentially new highs. It does have to make it through the 302.23 area. But then after that, we're targeting back up into the expanded megaphone top. Then what happens? Who knows? Interesting things are going to happen next week. We're going to have we will have the Fed report out. And so on a daily chart, what we're looking at is it definitely looks like price action wants to, it's looking place, in my eyes, it's looking for a place to stall. We have had a really nice breakout from these lower levels here through this zone here at the box at 94.15. But if you will just, here's a very simple way to measure. You don't have to worry about the fibs or anything like that, but just take the height of the box approximately from about here up to the top of the box, which is about there. Now just take that particular line, activate it. Let's move that up again to the top of the box. Now we broke out of the top of the box right there. And so it would be, this is an approximation, but as you can see, that high, the expected move off of breaking out of the box is up here at about 306. So we're starting to get in the vicinity of 306, right about there. Mark calls out correctly. We have what's close to a 3-line cluster on the market forecast on a weekly chart. We do want it to be above the 80 level. And so it did, came really close yesterday. So it's given us some indication that yes, momentum, price action is moving up, momentum is not as much. Take a look at the QQQs. Okay, QQQ, similar type situation, still working within two levels of megaphone top. The larger one over here, the smaller one over here. Price action is right up into the upper resistance zone identified by that green area, and it looks like prices are trying to pull back. However, on a weekly chart and a daily chart, look at the stack. And what I'm talking about is the stack of moving averages. They're all stacked to the upside, the 50, the 20, and the 8. They're all stacked to the upside. Watch any pullback that's down towards that 189.98 area, and it may be an intraday pullback that happens during the week next week, especially around Wednesday. I will not be in a big hurry to trade the market next week until we get past Wednesday. See what the reaction to the Fed comments. The Fed is expected to lower rates one more time, and so we'll see what happens there. On a weekly chart, what do we have going on? We've got kind of a hanging man type pattern. And so that's what might, kind of a hanging man, definitely a spinning top type of doji type candlestick. IWM. There we go. Excellent move up. However, what hasn't happened? Let me let that catch up. What hasn't happened with IWM? Well, one, in reality, it's still operating within its box pattern, has not broken up the upside yet. And so, yes, we had a nice bullish move, positive energy, positive volume for the week. Same, good buying volume for the daily chart. Broke out back above the 8, back above the 20, and all the moving averages are starting to get stacked in the proper direction. And so what can we potentially expect for this? Again, I will be looking towards the middle of the week. What would make a very nice trade for us is, get my pencil out here, is basically if we get in, here we are at resistance, we get a pullback into the moving averages or even down here to the 152.50 area and then rebound from there after the Fed meets. That's what I anticipate happening after the Fed meets. So that's where I'm looking at for the week. And Steve wants to take a look at HXL. Steve, go ahead and unmute yourself. And you just a daily and a weekly chart okay for you? There you go. You're live, Steve.
They'll be fine. Okay, we have an IBD 50 stock HXL. It's in a very strong uptrend on the weekly and the daily chart. We've had a pullback over the last 5-6 days, right to the 50 MA, which is a good indication of a strong trend. It's sloping up, and yesterday it produced a doji reaction, a doji candle, and it was a buy today on a high. Excuse me, on a high above yesterday's high, on a move above yesterday's high. So it's an entry today for me, just above what was the high? I can't recall. Yesterday's high was what? I can't.
Yesterday's high, Steve, was 81.93.
Yeah. So 10 cents above that was an entry for me.
Okay. Now this is a fairly low volume stock. I mean, it's less than 500,000 shares.
Correct.
Is that a deal for you?
It's okay for me. I don't trade huge volume, so it's fine. It's an IBD 50. It's in a strong trend. Technically, it looks very appealing to me, except for the volume, which is relatively low. Yeah.
Okay, so would you buy right up against? Would you buy right up against the current? You know, it's right there against the 8 and the 20-day moving average. Would you buy there? Or would you want it to be bounced down a little bit?
At this point, if you're not in at this point, actually, I would buy up to the current levels right now, right at or under the 80 MA. I would probably buy, because I suspect it'll break above the 80 MA. There may be a pullback after that.
Okay.
But I like it. I like it right in this current area. It depends on your style of trading and how aggressive you are in terms of entries. But I think technically this is very sound.
This looks really good. I mean, it really does.
Yeah. It's got a very tight stop, so I like the risk reward potential.
Okay, and it has earnings coming up on 10/21. So that
a good ways away. Yeah.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's really. Can you ask him? Let's see, Steve. I'm supposed to ask you what he saw as his buy triggers. Did you answer that question already?
It was a pullback to the 50. It held the 50. Yesterday was a doji candle, or kind of a doji candle, basically an inside bar. So it was the break of the inside bar to the upside that was my trigger for entry.
Okay. Yeah, it showed that price action got in there. That's excellent, Steve. I really like this particular trade. I don't know if you know, one of the things about it is you know, you could buy this here. I don't know if I'd want to buy it here per se, because the volume's just down a little bit. But I would say buying it anywhere from between the 20 and the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. Yeah. Part of the reason why is, what's your stop loss, Steve, on a buy like this?
Right under the low 2 days ago.
Ah, okay. So basically his stop loss is here, guys. So he's risking a little bit, about 1.26% to 1.5.
Right.
If you went, you know, for a full 5%, you're way down here. But there's no reason to wait for it to get down, because if it undercuts that low right there,
that's correct.
You need to be saying, this ain't working. I'm firing this sucker.
and further, it would not be holding the 50. It tested the 50, got back above. If we lose the 50, it's a reason to exit.
Exactly. So excellent. And Steve, I figured out, and I want to make a note to myself exactly what my issue was with the YouTube, is I've got to mute the YouTube, because when I turn on YouTube, the whole, you know, that comes up on another screen. And if I don't mute where it's feeding in from the other screen, that's when I was getting the double feedback. But I don't, for the folks online, were you hearing any of that double feedback, or was it just in my head? Hopefully it was just in my head. Okay. Hey, Steve, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
We'll be back in Hawaii in another week and a half or so, and we'll get together and we'll chat some more.
Sounds good. I hope you had a good time at your reunion.
We did, except there was all those old people, at the reunion.
Yeah, all those other guys, right?
All those other guys, you got it. It's all in my head. Thanks, Mark. And so, okay, thanks, Steve. I'm gonna mute you, and we're just gonna finish it for today. I want to thank Steve for joining us, because he is really has been a real positive to be on online with us. And like I said, we want to keep this just short and sweet and to the point. There we go. And so NASDAQ, remember where we're at. We're at the, in September. September typically on NASDAQ, it can float up, then float down. We're looking for where it's going to posture itself to make that end of the year run. That's what we're looking for. Same for the Russell. Russell tends to actually be weak in September. However, sometimes from a seasonality standpoint, if a stock has not followed its normal seasonality for the year, it will be it will basically not necessarily follow the seasonality, but we're still expecting a run into the end of the year. I think if we get the Fed in line, if the trade wars with China are basically kind of softened, everything else turns around, I think we could rally pretty strong into the end of the year. The only thing is when's the other shoe going to drop? Because the economies throughout the world are softening up a little bit, and so will another shoe drop? Hey, if you need a speaker for your group, I can customize the meeting just for you, either in person and or a webinar. Tomorrow, the BAM meeting, Barry and Moneymakers, will do our monthly webinar, and we're going to be talking about the moving average magic. Is basically what the topic of tomorrow's discussion is about. And then I'm still working on building a new free webinar for basically for anyone who wants to attend, for swing trade secrets. And of course, if you want to email me, there's my email. And then let me help you find the top 2% of the best stocks that are out there. If you are not a free member, just go to this website and sign up. There's no obligations. All you'll do is get, you'll get notifications on when the watch lists have been updated, and you'll have access to those premium watch lists or the elite watch lists that I put out each week. And then lastly, if you are not a premium member, I just want to let you know that we are in the process of building out a brand new offering. This is going to be 6 weeks of one-on-one and small group mentoring that we're going to be launching for our premium members. And it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. We have a limitation of 5 folks who we will take on at one time. And it's basically going to be to help, quick start, or if you've been dragging with your trades, to get everybody up to speed and trading well into the new year. So that's going to be coming out here shortly. And with that, I'm going to say, hey, good day, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. As you move into the weekend, keep the A growing. And if you are a premium member, we'll see you in at the top of the hour for the premium members' next final hour. With that, aloha, everybody. Although I'm aloha-ing you, I'm aloha-ing you from Boise, Idaho. And Steve, you're going to be, next Friday, there will be no session because I'll be on an airplane heading back home to Hawaii with a one-night stopover in California. So with that, aloha, God bless everybody.